Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Caitlin. I make book content here on YouTube. So today's video is going to be my March wrap up. So I only read a total of 5 books this past month, so it was not a super great reading month for me, but that is okay. Also, if y'all hear any like banging in the background, just try and ignore it. One of my neighbors is like having their roof fixed or something like that. So if y'all can hear the banging, I apologize. I'm gonna change up the way I have been doing my wrap ups. You'll see more of what I'm talking about once we get into the actual video itself. But with that being said, I am just going to go ahead and jump right on into this month's reading wrap up. Okay, y'all, so we are just going to jump right on into the 5 books that we read for the month. Like I said, I am going to do my wrap up a little bit differently this month. Usually I like to hold up the physical copies of the books that I've read, but like I said, I'm going to change it up a little bit this month. If you like the way that I do it this month, let me know in the comments down below, and maybe I'll keep doing it this way. But if you liked it the way I'd done it before, also let me know in the comments down below, and I can always go back to it. So with that being said, we are just going to jump right on into the 5 books that we've read for the month of March. So I have my little phone here, and I've got my rating that I gave it, the spice level of the book, and I have a synopsis to read for y'all, just because I don't feel like I am the best at explaining books all the time. Even though many of you guys probably know what these books are, I just want to try and make sure that I'm saying accurate information about the book. So, book number 1 was Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. I gave this a 5-star and a 4.5 on the spice level. It says Icebreaker follows Anastasia Allen, a competitive figure skater with a full college scholarship thanks to her spot on Maple Hill's skating team. She is determined to earn her shot at Team USA. So she's hoping to go to the Olympics. And Nathan Hawkins, the captain of Maple Hills Titans, he knows that the responsibility of the hockey team is on his shoulders when a misunderstanding occurs that forces the two teams to have to share a rink. And Anastasia's skating partner gets hurt. Nathan finds himself trading in his hockey stick for a pair of figure skates as he helps Anastasia train for a competition. The pair is stuck in an unlikely situation, but Anastasia says she doesn't like hockey players. Or does she? I loved this book. I read this book. I think it took me maybe a day and a half to read this book. I really enjoyed this book. So it's a hockey romance, which y'all know I'm always there for hockey romance. It's an enemies to lovers. It's a reverse Grumpy Sunshine. Usually in books that are like Grumpy Sunshine, usually it's the male characters that are grumpy and the female characters are sunshine, but it's reversed in this book and I loved it. Nathan falls first. Anastasia definitely tries to deny it, but in the end they end up together. So that is that. So we're just going to move on to book number 2, which is Wildfire, also by Hannah Grace. This is the second book in the Maple Hills series. Like I said, book 3, I believe, got announced for August 27th, which is Henry's story, which I can't wait till it comes out. So Wildfire, I gave a 4.5 star rating and a 3.5 on the spice. So Wildfire follows Russ Callahan and Aurora Roberts, 2 Maple Hills College students, as they head off to summer camp to be camp counselors. The night before they leave for camp, they find themselves at a party, not expecting to see each other again, after they share a night together. They are both surprised when they run into each other at the same camp. Russ knows that breaking the camp's no staff fraternizing rule will have him heading back to Maple Hills before the summer is over, but unfortunately for him, Aurora has never been one to follow the rules. I enjoyed this book. It took me a little bit longer to get through than Icebreaker did. It was still a really good book. I've heard people definitely rate this book lower than Icebreaker. I loved the characters in this book. I enjoyed, yeah, I enjoyed Wildfire. I would definitely recommend reading both books out of the series. It's a forced proximity and mutual pining. So, or pining, right? That's the right word. So they both have feelings for each other. The feeling is mutual, basically. But that was book number 2. Book number 3 that I read in March was The Fine Print by Lauren Asher. I gave this a 5-star rating and a 3.5 for spice. So The Fine Print follows Rowan and Zahara. This is the first book in the Dreamland Billionaire series. After Rowan's grandpa passes away and leaves each of his grandchildren with a letter from his will, each grandchild finds himself stuck with a task they are dreading to complete. Rowan finds himself heading back to Florida to become director of the family's amusement park, Dreamland. Rowan is tasked with renovating the amusement park when Zahara submits a drunken proposal criticizing the amusement park's most expensive ride. She believes that she has been fired, however, Rowan ends up offering her dream job. The only catch is she has to work for the most difficult boss she has ever met. Rowan was rude and completely off limits, but Zahara didn't care, at least until she learned his secret. Zahara thought it was time to teach the billionaire that money can't fix everything. So this was an opposites attract workplace romance, Grumpy Sunshine, and Enemies to Lovers. I made it through this book in a day. This book was just a super easy read, and I enjoyed it literally from the very first page. So I would definitely recommend this series. I think it was really good, and I love the relationship between Zahara and Rowan. So that was book number 3. Book number 4 is Terms and Conditions, again by Lauren Asher. This is the second book in the Dreamland Billionaire series, and this book follows Declan, I don't know how to say his name, it's fine, and Iris. I also gave this book a 5-star rating and a 3 on spice. It says, Declan is destined to become the next CEO of his family's media empire. The only problem is his grandfather's inheritance clause. To fulfill his grandfather's dying wish, Declan must get married and have a child, which seemed impossible until his assistant Iris volunteers for the job. Their marriage was supposed to be the perfect solution. The more that they act in love for the public, the more Declan starts to realize how much he truly cares for Iris. So this is a fake dating, marriage of convenience, workplace romance, and brother's best friend. I enjoyed this book. Again, I know I've said that for every book, but I think the one thing that kind of annoyed me with this series just a little bit is a little bit of the miscommunication, because sometimes it just got to points where it was just tell her what you're thinking. But I mean, other than that, I think it was a really good book. Another one that I got through in literally a day. So yeah, I absolutely loved this whole series, and I got through the whole series really quickly. But that was book number 4, and book number 5 for the month of March. We obviously had to finish off the Dreamland Billionaire series, so we went ahead and read Final Offer. This is the 3rd and final book in the series. I also gave this book a 5-star, and on Spice I said a 4. This book follows Callahan and Alana's story. Yeah, so it says Callahan is the Kane brother everyone gossips about behind closed doors. Trust fund brat, washed up athlete. Alana Castillo, the only woman that Callahan ever truly loved. When he broke Alana's heart 6 years ago, he vowed to never return to Lake Wisteria. Callahan kept his word until his grandfather's will forced him to face a past that he was not ready to go back to. In order for Callahan to receive his inheritance, he is tasked with spending a summer at the family lake house before selling it at the end of the summer. The request was simple in theory, until it blew up in his face. When he returned to the lake house, it turns out Alana doesn't just live there, but also owns half of the property as well. So this was a childhood friends to lovers, second chance romance, and forced proximity. I enjoyed this book. I think the thing that was kind of like hard for me with this book is like there are parts in the book where Alana said stuff in Spanish, and I had to pull up like Google Translate so I could translate to find out what she was saying. But I mean, other than that, I really loved the book itself, and I think it was just really good. And yeah, so which Lake Wisteria is actually where the lakefront billionaire, right? That's what it's called. No. Yeah, the lakefront billionaire series takes place, as in Lake Wisteria. So I like that they kind of like, I like that Lauren Asher kind of tied in like the environment into her next series. So yeah, so those were all 5 books that I read for. Okay guys, so to do a little quick wrap up of all the books that I read this month, we have Icebreaker by Hannah Grace, Wildfire by Hannah Grace, and we have The Fine Print by Lauren Asher, Terms and Conditions by Lauren Asher, and Final Offer by Lauren Asher. So those were all 5 books that I read in the month of March. Make sure to drop down in the comments if you guys liked the way I done this month's wrap up, and I'll catch y'all in my next one. Bye guys.